Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this webinar today. I know this is a weekend, most of you are occupied. In this webinar, I am trying to explain what is the importance of health insurance. And if you have already one, how do we make sure that we have the right one? How do you check it? And what needs to be done to ensure that it comes to your rescue when we need to use it. Okay. During the webinar, in case you have any queries, if you have questions, please feel free to message us or type them out, put it to the comments. We'll try to address as many queries as possible during the session. But in case if we run out of time, we will definitely reach out to each of you and then answer those queries. Okay. Thank you. Let's continue. A brief introduction about myself. This is actually my 40th year for me in insurance. The most important achievement for me in this industry is I have actually pioneered the concept of bumper to bumper and return to invoice insurance in motor insurance. Prior to introduction of these two features, whenever a motor claim happens, the customers used to come and lament, saying that, sir, we've been paying the insurance for my vehicle for 5 years. I never made a claim. First time I meet with an accident and the loss assessor is telling me that I only get 50% of the repair bill. It's very unfair. Believe me, once these two things were introduced, today there's no motor customer who has taken this cover feels aggrieved because entire bill except rupees 2,000, which is the policy deductible, is reimbursed to the customer without any hassles, and the process is very, very smooth. It has brought so much of peace of mind to the customers. I'll say it's a huge, huge revolution in the industry. Similarly, I was also trying to work on personal health insurance in the last few years, but there was much more to be done. Okay, let's move on. Okay, now I became eligible for health insurance permanently. I'm not obese, I'm not hypertensive, I'm not diabetic, I don't smoke, I don't drink. In fact, 60 days from the time of discharge from Fortis Hospital, I'm off all medication for my heart surgery. But still, today, I cannot buy any further health insurance. Now, I realized I'm not alone in this situation. There are millions of people out there, Indians, who wanted health insurance, but then they're not eligible. So I founded Kokoro Insurance Brokers. The word Kokoro means peace of mind, with the heart, helping people. So the purpose of Kokoro Insurance Broker is to help people to understand their health insurance, to acquire better health insurance, which really stands by them when it is needed most. Okay? Yes, very simple. Health insurance is supposed to be that. But in reality, we see that it's not happening. Why? I'll explain you this more in detail in the coming slides. But what happens is we are all buying insurance as if we are buying a commodity. we look for discounts, we look for cashbacks, etc. Okay. Insurance contracts are, insurance policy is a contract. It needs to be legally worded to make sure that all parties get justice out of it. As a layman, it is next to impossible for any of us to understand the wording in the insurance policy. But do we stop there? No. Please try to ask your advisor, whoever is trying to sell the policy, ask all questions what you need to do till you are completely satisfied with the explanation. Okay? Now, why claims get rejected? We can debate endlessly, days together, who is responsible for it. Unfortunately, the health advisor has very little time to advise, to explain you the nitty-gritty of the policy. Many a time they have targets. They try to, finish the discussion quickly. From your side, many a time, there is somebody in the family who have got certain minor health conditions. We feel these are not very important. We don't disclose, sometimes intentionally, sometimes unknowingly. Now, insurance company has no choice but to, once the policy is issued, based on information given by us, once the policy is issued, they have to abide by the contract. Now, what happens? There are certain claims which are settled partially. There are certain claims totally rejected. Okay. How do we get out of it? Beyond all this, there is another important reason. It's you. Unless you take it seriously, end of the day, whoever may be at fault, you are the one who will be left in the lurch without insurance cover or with inadequate insurance cover. Why? Because insurance is never a priority until a dear one is hospitalized. And maybe it's too late. This entire industry is saddled with trust deficit. We don't take proper caution while we are availing the policy. We don't review our policy. And then there are three important players here. One is the insurance company, one is the advisor, third is you. We all contribute to this scenario by not declaring certain pre-existing conditions, the advisor not identifying the right product suitable to you, the insurance company in a hurry issuing their policy. But end of the day, the result is trust deficit. Is there no solution? We can create the change, the Kokoro way. See, the health insurance in 90s when it was started used to be like only two choices available for us when we choose to buy a motor vehicle. But today, it's like this. You're spoiled for choice, I should say. Health insurance also has evolved over a period of time. Let's see. In the 90s, as I mentioned, we had very few choices. 5 lakh sum insured used to be great at that point of time. Any pre-existing condition could not be covered at all. Anybody who is above 60 could not avail insurance at all. Whereas today, every choice is available. World-class insurance companies are present in India. Sum insured can be 5 lakhs to 5 crores. My experience, except open heart surgery and people who have got cancer, any other person can get insurance. However, could be with a little higher premium, a little lower sum insured, maybe with certain limitations. But it is possible to avail insurance for most pre-existing conditions. And most insurance companies say, as long as we renew the policy within the expiry date, lifelong renewability is available. In fact, one insurance company says we can renew issue policies up to 110 years of age. So it is possible to build your own health insurance to suit your requirements. Another angle, due to advancement of medical technology, availability of facilities to our doorstep, the cost of medical treatment has gone up terribly. Okay. But most of us continue to have a limited sum insured of 5 lakhs. Many of us are prisoners of corporate health insurance policy. We all say, my company has insured me, without realizing the fact that at some point of time, we will be leaving the company. And what happens to us at that point of time? How do we continue our insurance? By which time, we would have got one of those lifestyle diseases, and it becomes very difficult to get the complete, comprehensive health insurance. And in this scenario, what we observe is parents become most vulnerable. Even with corporate policies, some insurance are very limited. There are a lot of restrictions. How do we rectify this? Okay, we have a solution. Let's see. The best thing what we need to do is, it's a must actually for each of us, keep reviewing the existing policy versus what new products are available. Every year, new models are coming, new features are coming, new products are being introduced. Please keep reviewing them. There is a possibility to shift to another insurance company, to another product, both portability and migration, until all these things are built into your new policy. Keep reporting, God forbid, if I get any new health condition, one of my family member, please be transparent, keep informing them. And your health advisor plays the most important role, because he is the one who is supposed to know what is happening in the industry, what is the most appropriate for you, and come back and advise you. Okay. Now, I would like to explain you a few examples how Kokoro has brought in some change to some of the customers. We came across a family of 3. The head of the family was insulin dependent. Now, his health advisor has given him a policy with a 5 lakh sum insured. The policy was there for 2 years. And this gentleman happened to be hospitalized for 4 days. But insurance company rejected the claim for non-disclosure of pre-existing condition. We came to know about him. Then we gave him a unique product which covers people who are dependent on insulin. And the coverage for him for diabetes and hypertension is given from 31st day. There is no co-payment, there is no room rate limit, no cappings. And in fact, this person will be encouraged to undergo HbA1c test once in a quarter, and the cost will be reimbursed by the insurance company. Apart from that, there's an annual health checkup which is sponsored. So one is getting him the right product, making all disclosures at a reasonable premium. And second is making sure this gentleman remains healthy, encourage him to follow those things. and the spouse and kid, both of them are relatively healthy. So we gave them 1 crore health insurance at a very low premium. Okay. Another case. We came across a 75-year-old lady who did not have any insurance. We gave her 10 lakh health insurance. Okay. Okay. Unfortunately, during the 10th month of her policy, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. The 10th, 11th, and 12th month, about 4.5 lakhs was spent on testing, etc. And then there was a hospitalization. There was a few chemo treatments which were done. The 4.5 lakhs was reimbursed. The policy is renewed. The insurance company happened to foreclose that product. So they have offered an improved product to her. So even though she was suffering from cancer, the insurance company had the obligation to offer the nearest product. So she was offered that product, and the 10 lakhs sum insured came back to her with 11 lakhs because 1 lakh cumulative bonus came in, despite there's a claim in the earlier year. Now, during the first month of the renewed policy, she underwent a surgery. It costed about 14 lakhs for her, out of which the insurance company paid 10.92 lakhs, post which she was supposed to undergo a series of chemo process. So she got back another 10 lakhs as a restore benefit. Out of the 10 lakhs, already about 5.34 lakhs in the last 3 months has been settled for her. And she still have another 4.6 lakhs sum insured left. God forbid, if she requires more treatment, she will get back the 10 lakhs unlimited number of times. Okay. One more example. This is an 80-plus-year-old couple. They were having a policy. Each of them were having a policy with 2 lakhs sum insured. There was a 30% copay. There's a disease-wise capping. There are room rent limits. ICU, there were limits. It so happened, actually, they happened to go for a cataract treatment. And I believe they got only 15% of the amount they have spent because of these limitations. When we came to know, we have issued them a policy for 5 lakhs, again, declaring everything upfront. And this policy comes with unlimited restore, no co-payment, no room rent limit, no ICU limits, no disease-wise capping. I'm sure, God forbid, if they have to use it, that policy, I'm sure they'll be much more happier. And this policy will be renewable lifelong. Okay. Now, one quick fix I can suggest to most of you is people who have corporate insurance. Let's say I have insurance of 4 lakhs. If you are very cost conscious, what you can do probably is today, an average of 20 lakhs is the minimum sum insured one should look at it. So you can always buy a 16 lakh super top up at a very cost economic premium of around 1,500 rupees. Okay. But the permanent solution will be to look at having our own personal health insurance, a base policy as well as a super top up policy. I've just indicated a few indicative premiums. A family of 4 can get 1 crore health insurance for less than 20,000 rupees with least number of restrictions, limitations, as I mentioned earlier. Okay. Now, I will try to make it a little lighter now. I would request each of you to take a few minutes, go back and check whether your current health insurance has all these features present. If you have all the 10 features present, great, you're doing really good. But God forbid, if your current health insurance has less than 5 of these features, it's time for you to switch. If you happen to have 5 to 7 or 8, it is time for you to review and think of something better. Okay. Anybody has any query, please? Any query people can. Mr. Rohit is asking, what are the biggest challenges in making health insurance more accessible in India? Okay, one factor which I did not mention here is today the hospitals, they also have all become corporatized. They are also profit centers now. There's no need for us, there's no point in going and trying to blame the hospitals. The best thing we can do is try to build the best possible health insurance when we are relatively younger, when we are relatively healthy. Now, I would like to put it in a lighter vein, Rohit. What's happening is, we all believe in karma siddhanta. We believe that I don't need health insurance. Why should I spend money on this? We keep seeing our neighbor getting into a health emergency. We keep seeing somebody else in our family getting into health, but we still believe it will not happen to us. So I would like to say, earlier people used to say roti, kapada, makan. I will add one more thing, roti, kapada, makan, swasthya bhima. So premiums have become very affordable. Very good products are available. It's just somebody has to contact the right health advisor to buy the right insurance. I hope I have answered the query, Rohit. Any other queries, please? Okay. Who is an insurance broker? Insurance broker is a licensed entity from IRDA. We represent the customer unlike all other insurance entities in the market. A typical agent, an insurance sales advisor, all of them represent the insurance company. Whereas insurance broker represents the customer, they are supposed to understand the customer's requirement, go to market, identify the suitable product for the customer, and then offer that product. And we are also obligated by law. IRDA mandates us, God forbid, if there's any claim in the policy, we are obligated, mandated to give complete service to the customer and hold the customer throughout the claim journey. In fact, if any of you are facing any ticklish claims, whether the policy is placed through us or not, you can still reach out to us. We'll try to help you as much as possible. Okay. Next, please. Any questions and answers? The session is open for you. Okay, there's a query here. I had a regular health insurance for 20 lakh from ICICI Lombard for over 15 years. No claims. Premiums at age 59 for 20 lakh for one person was 52,000. I shifted 15 months ago to a new policy from ICICI Lombard through ICICI Bank. 50 lakhs for me and my wife. Now I'm 61. No carryover benefits. The premium of the new policy is 45,000 for both. Okay. Mr. Shivram, I will not be able to answer immediately on this. If you're okay, we will try to message you separately. We'll understand your requirement and I'll come back to you. But one important thing I would like to mention is when we buy a policy through a bank, we need to make sure whether it's a bank assurance policy, a group policy, or is it a retail health insurance. If it is a retail health insurance but still sold by a bank, then you are better off. But if you are buying a policy under a group health policy of the bank, then your continuity of the policy will be dependent on the group health policy given by the bank. So I would like to explain you once I understand the policy better. Okay, another query. How can technology help in reducing claim settlement delays and enhance health insurance penetration? Yeah, it's a very important point. Things are happening. Like I have seen quite a few insurance companies who have developed their own apps where real-time updates are shown to the customer, dependents, as well as the intermediary on their mobiles, apps, etc. The most important point here is human body is so complicated. Each person reacts to a different procedure, medication in a different way. So the journey is on. If you ask me, compared to 3 years ago, today we are much better off. But I would recall you to that earlier slide what I mentioned, the trade deficit, trust deficit. That's the main issue. None of us trust each other, unfortunately, at this point of time. But I am not very pessimistic. Things are improving. We need to have a little more patience. Okay. I think this gentleman has come back and asked a question. I'm not able to understand the price difference. Same Lombard, similar policy. Okay. Two things we should understand. Each policy has multiple features. Same policy may have different features. Second thing is, there are some cases where premiums have been reduced over a period of time also. So I need to see both the policies to explain you clearly where the difference has come, Shivram. Okay, Mr. Shivram is mentioning that's a group policy. Now, when you say it's a group policy, again, I have to see the policy before I comment to you, please. Any other questions? Can you repeat the query, please? Okay. Now, all insurance companies are obligated to share clause in the health policies called moratorium clause. So earlier, the moratorium clause used to be 8 years. Now, since last year, IRDA has made it as 5 years. So once an insurance policy is taken, after 5 years, the policy cannot be questioned by the insurance company. Second thing is, in this query, it's mentioned that I have taken a policy. After 3 or 4 years, I contract blood pressure. What happens? Then it will have to be settled. Any complication arising out of blood pressure has to be settled. Yes. Now, Ayushman Bharat and Bima Trinity, they're all there as long as the government sponsors them, continues them. Wherever one can afford, it is always advisable for somebody to take a personal policy, because then we will have, uh, you know, we are building our own health insurance. But if somebody cannot get health insurance because of either pre-existing ailments or because can't afford it, then Ayushman Bharat is a last resort. Because we have seen in many cases where some of the hospitals don't entertain these Ayushman Bharat card holders, etc. It's a systemic problem. So it is better to have personal health insurance if one can afford. No. Okay. I think his query was, I have this insurance for last 3, 4 years. Now I get BP. Should I inform? See, at the time of renewal with the same insurance company, we don't need to inform. In case we are changing the insurance company for whatever reason, at that point of time, it is our duty to inform the new insurance company, keep the matters very transparent, and then buy the policy. Okay. One is, today, what I understand is private insurance or personal health insurance policies are available across. Everybody, even rural areas, they're all using the payment methods on the mobile. They can also buy their health insurance. Now, government health insurance, whether it's Ayushman Bharat or any other, should act as a complementary policy added to our personal health insurance, but one should not treat it as an alternative or substitute for personal health insurance. Now, the penetration, yes, all of us will have to keep spreading the message to our near and dear ones through them to their friends the importance of health insurance. And touch wood, a year ago, 2 years ago, there was hardly any discussion on this health insurance. But today, every alternate day, every newspaper carries one article or other. On the TV channels, regularly we see these discussions happening. So the message is spreading. Only thing is, we need to bring back the concept trust on the customers or prospects that health insurance really supports me. God forbid there is a difficulty. The trust has to be brought back to the customer through all of us. Okay, thank you.